Today we're going to talk about the murder trial of the century. The murder trial of the century. The murder trial of the century, yes. We're going to talk about this. Why? Because it's very important. If you haven't heard about this, you got to do it now. You've got to tune up, you've got to catch up, you've got to make sure that you understand what's going on, because it's very, very important. This is Mr. Alex Murdoch. Alex Murdoch is a very successful lawyer in America that has recently been accused acts guilty. He's been accused. Wow. As police tactical unit here everywhere raiding a place. It looks like a garage. Act guilty. Okay, so Alex Murdoch is this man, I believe he's in his 50s, who is accused of killing his wife and killing. Alex Murdoch is accused of killing his wife and killing his son. Now, this is a very disturbing case. The man claims that he's not guilty. The prosecution says that he is guilty because there is no proof. There is no evidence to suggest that there was somebody else involved in this crime. Now, you have to understand, Mr. Murdoch is a prosecutor himself. He's an attorney. He understands the way that investigation work. He understands the way that criminal evidence is obtained. He understands the way how police works. He understands the way how the judicial service work as a whole. Now, has Mr. Murdoch committed the perfect crime? That's the question. If you remember, you had a case of O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson was this brilliant and very successful footballer that was accused of killing his wife. Yeah, he was accused of killing his wife. And he was found not guilty because the police were so, they were so obsessed and so desperate to get him, to get the guilty verdict, that they messed up with the case and the guy ended up just being found not guilty. Now, Mr. Murdoch is not a footballer, but he is accused of killing his wife and his son. And we are all there listening to all the evidence that's been given, and the best of all is the evidence of the man himself, Mr. Murdoch. He decided to take the stand. He decided to speak. He decided to tell his own version of the events. And that is fascinating. I'll tell you a couple of observations. One is that Mr. Murdoch talks too much. He talks a lot. He talks a bit more than what he needs to. He goes round the question. Round once, round twice, and then the third time he answers. And sometimes he gets lost in answering the question, and the prosecution has to remind him, well, this was my question. Can you now answer my question? Because Mr. Murdoch is so desperate to explain himself, to justify his behavior or his actions, that he gets into what you call a debate. He gets into a debate with the prosecution, and that is a heated debate for most of it. As far as we can see, And so far, he hasn't managed to convince anybody. However, some people are saying that it's down to the prosecution to make the case of his guilt beyond reasonable doubt. Now, has the prosecution done that? In my opinion, I don't even think that the prosecution needs to do that. They've demonstrated that Mr. Murdoch is how do you call it? He's a liar. He cannot live life without lying. He will lie for fun. That Mr. Murdoch is a compulsory liar. That he's lied to his wife, lied to his children, lied to his parents, lied to his friends, lied to his bosses, lied and lied and lied. Lied to the police, lied to his lawyers. I mean, what else do you need? What else do you need? That on its own is sufficient to find Mr. Murdoch guilty. The fact that he lied to so many people. And the most interesting one is the fact that he said he was never at the murder scene. And he kept that narrative for almost 2 years. For almost 2 years. It's only when they're presented with evidence of his phone. Oh, well, you think that you've done the perfect crime. And you realize that, yeah, he always denied that he was at the scene. Right, so what would you say that the kind of shock, the most shocking revelation of his testimony was that he admitted for the first time that he was at the scene of the crime. Well, he says that he was looking for them, and then he went there, and he tried to turn his son's body. Well, I don't know what kind of juries you have in this. The jurors, or whatever you call them. These guys, I mean, come on, this is all there. This man smells guilt. He talk guilt. He act guilty. And he acts guilty. So what else do you need? The man is guilty. And he's got to be found guilty. Honestly, if this guy is not found guilty, well, they need to throw the Bible and the Quran and all of the holy books in the sea. Just throw them away and don't believe in anything anymore. So people say that in a public opinion, that people found other people guilty without due process. Well, this is due process. This is a man that knows well how the due process works. And when he calls the police, because I've watched that video, when he calls the police and he says to them, well, his wife has been murdered and his son has been murdered and stuff, he's already got a story. He changed his clothes, you know. But the funniest thing is, I need to find a motive. That's number one. Number two, I need to find why his son, his surviving son, is supporting him. I need to understand that bit. But I'm pretty sure that the motive has something to do with money, with finance. I'm pretty sure that Mr. Murdoch feel like he cannot get away with this, and even he tried to engineer his own assassination. So by hiring somebody to kill him so that his son can inherit his estate or can get the insurance. Why will you do that? But he says, well, the fellow being accused of killing your wife and your child has got, into his head, and he can't cope with it because he's innocent. He's an innocent man that's been accused wrongly of killing his wife and killing his son. But then I have a question. Mr. Murdoch, do you know who could kill your wife and your son? And you're the person who will have sufficient, how can I say, who will have enough anger against your son and your wife and kill them both. I mean, if you look at it, the only ideal suspect is you, Mr. Murdoch. Perhaps they found out that the guy deals with a lot of drugs. Perhaps he had some insurance money to get from their death. Perhaps they found out that he had an affair. Who knows? So it's all open, and it's up to everyone here to tell us what he thinks. But for now, for what I've seen, for the 2 days of testimonies, I believe that Mr. Murdoch is guilty. That might be too harsh. But no, the guilt is in a man's face, in his demeanor, in his behavior. You can see it. There's one thing that we're not capable of doing, right? As a human being, as a survivor of depression myself, there's one thing that we're not capable of doing is lying to our own body, because our mind has to be tuned up to our body. So when you feel angry, it starts from there and it goes down your body. Your expression, your facial expression. If you're stressed, it shows. If you're depressed, it shows. If you're in a bad mood, it shows. If you're ill, it shows. If you're guilty, it shows. If you're happy, it shows. If you're not guilty, it shows. So that is my take on this on this matter, on Mr. Murdoch trial. I understand that the verdict has not been reached yet, and that the proceedings are still ongoing. However, I can say that without a shadow of a doubt, Mr. Alex Murdoch is guilty. He's not telling us who may have killed, who would have wanted to kill his loved ones. He's not interested to find out. He doesn't even talk about it much. He's been defending himself from day one. From day one, when he called, the 999 call or the 111 call, I don't know what it stands for over there. He was already on it. Somebody must have shot the wife and my son. I just found out now. And crying and everything. So if you haven't followed Mr. Murdoch's case, well, tune up on Monday. The proceeding will resume again. The court will, it's been adjourned until Monday. That's going to be the third day of testimony. And it's compelling. Amazing. Well, who will understand human nature, human body, humans, I don't know how to say it, humans' behavior? How'd you kill your wife, kill your son, your own blood? How'd you do that? Well, he's not the first one to do it. He's probably not going to be the last one. Now, guys, tell me what you think about these. Tell me what you have to say about this. Whether my analysis is in tune with what you're thinking. Whether my analysis makes sense. Whether you believe that Mr. Murdoch is guilty or not guilty. Please state your opinion in the comment section below. But please don't forget to also like, share, and subscribe. Shall see you in the next video. We shall see you in the next video. We shall see you in the next video. Yes. See you soon.